Good afternoon, world. It is straight up 12 o'clock noon here in Waxahachie, Texas, deep, deep, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. And today is the 30th of July, and it's episode number 162, which is how many games we have in a baseball season. That's
Yep.
how many episodes we've had.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's a grind,
Yeah.
isn't it? But they do it in a season. It's taken us going on 2 years to do that.
Yeah.
Bum. Anyway, I'm your co-host Jeffrey Lynch. We're in our. Did I say that we're downtown in our
I
palatial
doubt
studios?
it, but that doesn't matter. They
Doesn't
know it by
matter.
now.
They do know. We got our man Sam Brooks over here and wearing his Sunday red is my buddy, your
Sunday
friend
Red is not
Scott
Sunday
Brooks.
Red. This happens to be, what's his name?
Well, no, but you're
The
wearing
shark. Oh, you're wearing red, yeah.
Yeah.
But what's his name?
Greg Norman.
Greg Norman,
the
yeah.
great white
Yeah, he's
shark.
got, I mean, as brands go, he's got a good one too.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank y'all for being here. I don't want to, I know I sound like a, what,
Do
Sammy?
you see Terry's comment?
No.
Do you see the Box at Your Son's comment?
Yeah.
Well, Terry's here. I don't know why it's not showing up.
All
Terry
right, well, anyway,
says,
thank y'all for being
hello.
here. Sammy mumbles. Thank y'all for being here. We do this show every Tuesday, Thursday. We have a blast, an hour long. Oh, there it is. Afternoon, Terry. We talk about most things that are in the news, but we like to give you a different angle on them, or maybe show you or tell you something you haven't heard. We can also be found on Substack.com under Grit and Good News. Go there. For $5 a month, you can get a boatload of content both on Monday and on Friday delivered straight to your email. It's seamless, very simple. So Jeff provides content, Sammy provides content, and so does yours truly. So check us out on Substack.com, Grit and Good News, and you can go from there. So we no longer do our jersey numbers. I'm going to not even say that anymore. We're putting it in the past. Instead, our newest little game, or I don't know what it is, something you won't probably find elsewhere.
Diversion.
Yeah, is to tell you, each of us, one name of an athlete that we have discovered that you probably haven't heard of before. And if any of you have some you want to list, write it, post it there. We can see it. But all three of us have a name today.
I never thought it was so much discovered as just names that we loved.
Well, I mean, there are some names on here. Which one do you have the other day?
Zoilo Versailles.
Okay, well,
Yeah, you didn't know that.
Ha Clinton Dix. I
Yeah,
mean, and
which
I
is
had Kool-Aid
great.
McKinstry.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name my kid Kool-Aid. So it's not that we have to like it or we discovered it. We just discovered it.
Okay.
So anyway, starting with Sammy. What do you got, Sammy?
Played in the NFL kicker Young Ho Koo.
Young Ho Koo. He
For
played
the-
for the Falcons,
The
right?
Falcons and the Chargers, and he was a pretty good kicker.
Does he still play for him?
No, he got cut sometime, maybe a couple of years ago. Went to the Chargers.
Who got Young Ho Koo'd.
Young Ho Koo. Y-O-U Young.
And we don't think of a lot of
Ho.
kickers
No, we
of
don't.
Asian
No.
persuasion.
No, we
Yeah,
don't.
well, Young Ho Koo. I'd give that a some scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being
Yeah.
crazy, about a 7.
Young Ho?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, about a 7.
Okay.
Leave the young hoes out of the show, please. We don't go there. Anyway, all right, Jeffrey, what do you got?
From the association, we got Lloyd World B. Free.
Yeah, Lloyd B. Free. I don't know
That's
what
a
his
weird
name
one.
was before that. He played for the
World Be Free. What?
he
Is
played
that
for the
not?
San Diego Clippers. They used to be in San Diego. And
Is
he
that
could
not Meta
shoot it.
World Peace?
No. World Be
Oh.
Free. Well, he could shoot from
They're
anywhere in the
cousins.
world.
Oh.
But he could play. That's a good one. Yeah, so I'll give him about an 8.
Okay.
Since we don't have a 10 yet, let me give you one.
Okay.
This kid currently plays for the University of Arkansas at Conway, so UCA.
Oh, well, geez.
His name is
Do
Dude.
you got any junior high kids too?
Hey, UCA, they're a Division I school.
I didn't even think of college, but go ahead.
Well, college, you can
Yeah.
any.
Yeah, I
anybody.
got some names now.
His name is Dude Person.
That is a guy. That's funny. That is
Dude
funny.
Person. He is a defensive back for the
Dude
University of
Person.
Arkansas at Conway.
That's
So there you
funny.
have it. All
Okay,
right.
so let's wrap up what we had for an interim, which was the jersey
Oh yeah.
contest that I invented. but it's done.
Jeff's contest or thing went kaput just like that, and he's blaming it on me.
Well, no. What I said is I
Hey,
wanted to
Tammy.
see in the game stretch from a couple Tuesdays ago, could we go 500 or better for the Rangers? And they were in 50 and 50, a half game out, and now they're 55 and 53, 2 games up, and they did go 5-3. They went 1-1 against the Sox, 3-1 against Seattle, and 1-1 against Tampa Bay so far in that series.
They're
So
playing right now
yeah,
as we speak.
5-3.
But the
That's
deal
pretty
was
good.
that you were going to wear a shirt, a
I
jersey.
did. I did it 3 days in
And
a row.
so what, and you don't see a jersey now, do you?
No, we got this hat
Got the hat.
because I thought you were sending me down a road where I'm gonna have to keep buying Rangers apparel for all year or wear the same 3 shirts
That's what I was trying to make
on the
happen.
cycle. And I'm like you. I do like to show a little bit of sartorial splendor every once in a while.
Terry says Hollywood Henderson. Yeah, he was
Well,
a
I like it.
linebacker for the
I
Cowboys
like it.
way
Very
back.
nice. Very nice.
All right, so a week from tonight, are you ready? Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, we get to
A
see the
week
fourth
from tonight.
string practice squad
Oh well,
guys.
I bet you the starters may play one down, one series, something maybe.
See, and
No, there's
But
no way.
where is that game held every year?
In Canton, Ohio.
Very good.
and
Which is, have you ever been?
yeah,
to
I've
the
been there
Hall?
more than once.
I need to go there in my
Akron's about
life.
15 minutes from Canton.
Okay, yeah.
But
I've been once too.
tonight, I mean next Thursday night, the game is between the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals.
And then when does preseason start? The
The
week
following
after?
week, yeah.
And who's picking up gold jackets this
So that's a
weekend?
good. I'd have to look at the list. I can't remember. We'll talk about that on Tuesday.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and as
I
we head
like their
into it,
speeches.
yeah, most of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
They're funny. By the way, I wanted to tell y'all something. I didn't plan to say this, but yesterday I watched a little bit of the funeral service for Lindsey Graham in his hometown of Columbia, South Carolina. Trey Gowdy, if you get 28 minutes if you can forge out 28 minutes, I would encourage you to watch the eulogy given by Trey Gowdy, the former congressman from South Carolina. He has a show on once a week show on Fox. But Trey Gowdy, you may remember Trey Gowdy from leading the charge against Hillary Clinton in Benghazi. And really, he's very smart, very good. His eulogy was incredible, and watched it the second time with my wife last night, and it's still second time got to me. I mean, it's just one of those that's so true what he had to say, and the way he had a friendship with Lindsey Graham is much like the friendships I have with those that are close to me, and could say about them. It just was really good. So if you get a chance, it's on YouTube. You can find it. It's 28 minutes. Hey Ed, welcome. Um, anyway, so there you have that. We have the Rangers. You just heard Rangers are up 2 games, something like that, right? Or a game and a
Yeah.
half. Yeah, two
Two,
games.
two full games.
And
Did you see Corey put on a show for the Rough Riders? He put on a show down there.
yeah, I mean he should.
He had
That is just so
But
weird
wait,
to
that
me.
big
put
D
on a show
plays.
for the Rangers, then we can talk.
Yeah. I wonder
World
if
Series is that is in the past,
well,
way in
yeah.
the past.
But I wonder if the tickets prices stay the same.
That's the same.
Wow.
Yeah. Uh, so there, I think that's all we have on the updates. I don't know who the Cowboys play, but really don't care until the regular
September.
season. Yeah. All right, man. Do we have a lot to? Speaking of Cowboys, we'd be remiss if we didn't just mention.
Oh,
We got a
yeah.
lot to cover today, but we're gonna be. It's gonna be our lightning round.
All right.
Tony Romo. Tony Romo was up in, I believe he's in Wisconsin.
Yes. He's from there.
He's playing in golf tournament.
Wisconsin
And he's a
amateur.
very good golfer. We all know that.
I didn't know
And
that.
yeah, he's very
Yeah.
good golf. And was arrested for DUI or DWI, whatever.
They call it
Um,
oh.
OWI. What was that?
They call it
Op- Operating a vehicle while intoxicated. So and then all the histrionics start, and they are filming him, and Tony Romo's a goof, and he's at the police station in their garage area, and he's stretching
He's warming
before they
up.
make him do all those things because they didn't want him to do it out where they were because the ground was uneven and it was traffic. So they put him in that, and he's stretching and doing all kinds of stuff. He's cutting up, and I mean, I told Sonia last night when it was on one of the shows we watch. I just said, I don't want us to show the video and just slam Tony Romo. We made a
Yeah.
mistake, and he's going to have to pay for it. So whatever that is. But then the reason we're mentioning it now is I read this morning that he was included in all that wasn't an open bottle or a bottle of alcohol in his vehicle. And I mean, that's where,
Drinking while
I
driving.
mean, yeah, you drinking while driving. I mean, intoxicated while driving is
Because
bad enough.
what I thought is he was golfing, was drinking while golfing, and was
Well,
driving.
yeah, I said to Sonia last night, I said, why would he be drinking if he's playing in a competitive golf tournament? Now you can drink afterwards, so that's probably what happened. But it wasn't one of those deals where he's playing with his buddies and getting loaded. He was in a competitive golf tournament, Wisconsin, I think the amateur.
Yeah, the state amateur.
And he needed to do well. So, but so I get all the funny, goofy stuff that people want to say about Tony Romo because he's well earned. But to know that he was driving with a bottle of alcohol in his car or whatever is unacceptable on every level. All of it's unacceptable. But to know that he had that much discarded the safety of others, that not only was he over the limit, but that he was further making it worse by drinking while he's driving, that's pretty dang stupid. So there you have it. Sammy, cue up Jesse Waters, if you will. So the big topic of it's more than this week, more than just yesterday, more than just today, is the role Anthony Fauci played beginning in early 2020 in terms of the epidemic. Fauci goes back 40 some odd, 50 some odd years as a bureaucrat, and there's so much now that's coming out about Fauci, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of it, so we don't want to be redundant, but we do want to tell you or show you some things that maybe you haven't seen or been aware of. But Tony Fauci, what did I say? Yeah, well, his name is Anthony. He calls himself Tony. No, Tony Fauci. So he was in front of Congress yesterday, pled the fifth 111 times. And it's just disgusting. But part of why he pled the fifth is about what you're about to hear right now. I probably would, if I had written all that crap and it was exposed, I would maybe I don't know if I'd plead the fifth, but
There's a reason why they allow you to do that.
well, there's a reason why you do it.
Right.
And I could go back and show you countless segments on left-leaning programs that say, matter of fact, when Trump was in one of his things where they were trying to nail him, he pled the fifth. And you hear these left-wing talking heads say, if he pled the fifth, he's guilty. He's got to go to prison. He's got blah, 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 blah. But when along comes Anthony Fauci, and they won't even report on this stuff. So, it's that same crap that we have to deal with from people on the left. But I want you to hear what part of Jesse's show. This wasn't last night. This was, I believe, 2 days ago. This is part of the diary of Tony Fauci that he kept for himself.
Country, we got our hands on Dr. Anthony Fauci's diary. And viewer warning, we're going to read from it, and it's going to make you very angry. Now, I know what you're thinking. It feels a little invasive reading another person's diary, but this isn't just anyone. This is a man responsible for devastating lockdowns and for funding the type of experiments that may have caused 1 million American deaths. If there's a theme from this diary, which is over 1,000 pages, it is this. Dr. Anthony Fauci is dishonest, almost always wrong, and is intoxicated with fame. As
I should have told you that this diary was released Tuesday afternoon, mid to late afternoon. So for Jesse Waters' show that evening, they had only been able to get to just portions of it. The show last night and shows since have a lot more of the content, but this is what was discovered within a couple of hours after it was released.
And help me understand this, because I don't. Why would you write a diary of your deepest thoughts and keep? I mean, people do that, but why would you keep it on government servers?
Yeah, go figure. Who knows? I have no idea.
It makes me think he's not as smart as he thinks he is.
Well, listen to what he has to say. Go ahead, Sam.
Thousands of Americans were dying every day. Here's what America's top doctor wrote, secretly to himself. Dear Diary, the press is going wild with me. It is not a hyperbole to say that today I am the most famous and talked about person in the country. We got our hands on Dr. Anthony Fauci's diary. Viewer warning. We're going to read from it, and it's going to make you very angry. Now, I know what you're thinking. It feels a little invasive. I am the most famous and talked about person in the country. We got our hands.
Well, there's more to it than that, but you get the idea. We'll have more on next Tuesday because I do want you to, if you haven't already seen it, to listen to what more he had to say, really what he had to say, at least what's being shared with us. And I haven't seen the diary myself. I've seen that pictures of it and how he wrote in it, but it was all about him and how he was being celebrated as being the greatest thing in the world. And he's obsessed with himself.
And on that related part, as he was self-promoting his greatness, did you hear about him and Barbara Streisand then?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and he recorded that
Yeah.
about him having her on the phone, and he was playing a song. Asked Alexa to play one of her songs for her while he was talking to her, and she was all enamored with him and how much she appreciated him playing that song and so on and so forth.
And
And
that
then
she,
she
she
was telling she had
confided in
yeah
him
about
about
butt sores on her butt. Yeah, a little more than we need to know. I also want you to hear Sammy, cue up the Bernie Moreno. Pardon the language in this, but yesterday in the hearing, Bernie Moreno, who is a relatively new senator from the state of Ohio, uh, uh, former car dealership, multiple car dealership owner, sold all of his businesses and now is a senator, largely because, as he might say here in this video, that he needed to do something. It's almost where we are. I mean, I'll never run for political office, but we got to do something in our little corner of the world to say enough is enough. So Bernie Moreno decided he would run for office and he won. This is what he had to say to Anthony Fauci yesterday. Go ahead, Sam.
Under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Happened. It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all, run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the fuck do you think you were for doing that? It is a total disgrace what you did to this country. And if my Democrat colleagues are standing there defending you, I hope the voters of the United States of America watch the clips of every one of you doting on a guy who was more interested in being a celebrity than saving American people. I will make it my mission to make certain that every single one of those Democrats who did that will see that clip over and over and over again. Because there is no defense of what you did. You may have had a 50-plus year legacy of public service, but it ends in total and complete disgrace. So let me ask you an opportunity to answer one question. Will you apologize, just apologize, to the people who you harmed through your actions? Will you say, do you have the dignity to just say you're sorry?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
This happened. It was about 6 years ago today.
That's it, Sam.
but because early it was established that he was going to go to the fifth all the time, we've talked about this many times about in these committee hearings, these senators use it as a chance to grandstand for themselves.
Yeah.
They turn that heat up because they knew they're going to get their whole
Yeah,
time because he's not answering any questions.
If there was ever a setting up in D.C. where making a speech was
Exactly.
reasonable, it was this one because you knew what he was going to say. And as you may have seen some of the other questions, Josh Hawley from Missouri said, "What color is the carpet? What color is your tie? What day is it?" And every time he pled the fifth, so he just wanted to make it. It was clear that he was
That
going to
sounds
say
like
that to everything.
a dementia, Alzheimer's cognitive
Well,
learning
it sounds
test.
like he's got attorneys that are slimy as he is. Matter of
Right.
fact, one of them was thrown out yesterday because he was trying to grandstand, and Rand Paul threw him out. And that same attorney representing Fauci was the one who represented Bob Menendez, the guy who's now in prison for having made a deal with the Egyptians and got gold in return, gold bullion bars. So there you have Bernie Moreno. He's very, very good. I pardon us for or pardon him for the language, but the intensity was there for sure. Sammy, cue up the Rand Paul. Actually, go back, cue up Fauci in 2022. This is Anthony Fauci from 2022. It's very brief, but let's listen to what he says and notice the cocky tone, notice the confidence, that sort of thing. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's what we want out of somebody in terms of somebody who led the charge against the pandemic. And so contrast what you're about to see there with what we saw yesterday. Go ahead, Sam.
Happy to testify before any congressional oversight committee. I have nothing to hide. I can explain and validate everything that I've done. So, it's going to be inconvenient if they actually are out there essentially threatening to make my life miserable. But I'm going to do what I need to do, and that is cooperate fully because we have nothing to hide at all. Happy to testify.
I guess, what do you say to that? We could show them on split screens. What do you say about a guy who says, "We'll explain everything. We don't have anything to hide"?
That was 1922.
That was 2022. I don't think he was alive until. You walked into that one.
I have a problem, and I haven't told you, but I'm working on it, and I'm taking.
You don't have
steps.
A problem. You think you have a problem. You don't have a problem.
Well,
You do what I can't even remember Sammy's name half the time. But anyway, so Fauci yesterday sat there and call me crazy. I'm no Dr. Phil, but I'm certain Fauci sat there with a victim mentality and a woe is me. And it's so sad to hear people say such bad things for Bernie Moreno to call me a disgrace and other people think I should be in prison. And as a matter of fact, his opening statement was, Rand Paul's after me. He's obsessed with me. And he thinks I ought to be in prison and behind bars and all this other stuff. I mean, the guy's sick. And I don't think there's any doubt when you see these videos that proves it. Now, with respect to, is there a way for Rand Paul and that committee or any state in the country to take further action against Fauci, who had provided a pardon? I saw this morning the actual pardon itself. It goes back to 2014, and there are reasons why that we're not going to get into the details now because I need to know more about it. But it covers Fauci completely in terms of any crimes that he committed. You don't really need a pardon if you've done nothing wrong. Just like you don't need to plead the Fifth. I respect the Fifth Amendment, obviously. I'm glad it's there, but usually those who use it are those who have something really skin in the game. Right?
We had a pretty big talk towards the end of last year, maybe some of the year before. This whole pardoning thing by presidents at the end of years or end of terms, it's kind of like out of control.
There are those who want Rand Paul to pursue criminal charges so that they can flesh out how that pardon came about, whether it was the auto pen, if Biden knew about it, so on and so forth. But I wanted you to hear what Rand Paul had to say about what he intends or believes can be done next. So, Sammy, let's play the Rand Paul video real quick. Again, this is Rand Paul. I believe it was yesterday evening, last night sometime. Go ahead, Sam.
Argument. This has probably never been tested legally. If you've been granted complete immunity, we didn't grant him immunity, but the President Biden granted him complete immunity. With the grant of immunity, do you still need Fifth Amendment protections, or do they apply? So, and telling that all he had to do today was tell the truth. If he testified and told the truth, even if he admitted to destroying thousands of records, which we think happened, there's no penalty that attaches. It would just be the truth.
How do you respond to his comments that you have an unhinged obsession with him?
I think if you look at all of the questions that were asked, they're all very, very serious questions. One of the questions, was about the particular type of furin cleavage site, that its codons were CGG. This was actually seen by a Nobel laureate, David Baltimore. I don't know what his political partisanship is, but a famous microbiologist or molecular chemist who said that was the smoking gun that made him think that it came from the lab. All of these were scientific questions. There were some questions about, being him entertaining and advocating with government.
That's good. The part I wanted you to hear, and the point is that I, it's as Eddie says here. There are lots of people saying that, and it makes sense that if you have a pardon, there's no reason for you to plead the fifth. Matter of fact, if you have a pardon, then you're not allowed to plead the fifth, because no matter what, as Rand Paul just said, no matter what you say on the stand or in front of Congress, wherever you're under oath, you're covered. So just tell us the truth. So the question becomes, one, he's got shifty lawyers who are trying to work some magic there. Number two, Anthony Fauci knows that I think his physical life would be at risk if he admitted what is obvious to most of us, if not, well, not most, I say most of us. There are some still, as Bernie Moreno said, doting on Fauci. So the left, on the left, those questions from them were, thank you for all you've done, and sorry for you having to come here and experience this. What a bunch of BS. But the question is whether or not he was required to tell the truth because he had pardons and that he couldn't plead the fifth. So that's going to be pursued both at federal level, and the state of Florida is already beginning its work to make him be accountable in the state of Florida.
Help me on an old expression. What's the old expression about power corrupts,
Yeah.
and then
It's
absolute power absolutely corrupts? Or
that's
something?
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so how does the guy get like this?
Yeah.
And something I heard the other day added up to how he gets like this. Part of what was involved in his job is any scientist in the country who wanted to do research on anything had to go through him to get approval for that to happen.
Yeah.
You talk about a
Funding.
fiefdom. You talk about a kingdom builder. You talked about a guy who the entire scientific community bootlicks that guy,
Yeah. I mean,
right?
matter of fact, part of why the lie was perpetuated was, and people were supporting Fauci by saying this didn't start in a lab; it started in a wet market. We've heard that, right?
Right.
Some dopey penguin or whatever other animal, a bat, and so uh, Fauci held all the cards because those that he needed to say it came from a lab were those who needed his funding to be able to do what they needed to do. So it was a hood, wink and a
A wink and a
smile.
blink, yeah.
And if you want your $500,000 for your little project there, you better say this came from
Right.
a wet
Right.
market. We're now beginning to see even Fauci, and part of I don't think it was there, but with respect to Jesse, but part of what's in his diary says that he recognizes that it did not come from a wet market. It came from a lab. That's why there's going to be more about prosecuting Fauci, because his diary clearly was different than what he said. His private diary was different than what he said in public on a number of topics, not the least of which was where this originated. And the other pieces of it had to do with masks and distancing. And he said publicly he didn't close any schools. Privately in his diary, he talks about how he forced the governors of New York and California and other places to close schools. I mean, the guy he's sick.
Here it is 2026, and this all is going down in 2020. 6 years ago. It seems like yesterday in one regard, and it seems like forever in another regard. Rita and I were talking like, do you remember that I was the only one that went to the grocery store in our family?
Yeah.
And do you remember when you had to go up one side of the aisle and down the next? And do you remember footprints
Yeah.
on the ground every place?
Indications about how far the distance was and all that. Yeah.
It just,
I mean, that's how far reaching all this went. One of the things that Robert Kennedy, we had a video of Robert Kennedy, but we don't have time to play it. But Robert Kennedy, either last night or the night before, said in his diary, Anthony Fauci reveals that he had Sonia knows what it's called, pulmonary
aneurysm?
No, farction, something that has the word farction in it, and it was a serious basically blood clot that came as a result of the vaccination. This was all in 2020, earlier to mid 2020. I think in April of 2020 is when he wrote it in his diary that he had a
Vaccination gave that to him?
pulmonary infarction, blood clot, but he never told the public. He continued to tell the public the vaccine is safe, use it, get one. I got it, and wish I wouldn't have, but I got it. I remember, and he was telling people get the vaccination. Matter of fact, he said if you've been vaccinated, you will not get it. But he recognizes in his diary that lots of people, like thousands, millions of people that got vaccinated, got COVID. But he didn't tell anybody that he had a serious health reaction to the vaccine he was promoting. And you know why he was promoting it? My educated guess is that he was getting money in return for promoting from Pfizer or Moderna, whomever, for promoting it. It's just sick. It's sick, and he deserves everything that he's going to get. And I hope that he gets what he deserves.
Well, he's on schedule.
Yeah. So there you have it on Fauci. We'll leave that alone. As more comes out, we'll be able to tell you about it. I don't know if it was last night or the night before, but the Seattle Storm, one of the teams of the WNBA, which has its problems. I mean, if there was ever a lousy leadership, you needed to know what it looked like. Check out the WNBA. As I mentioned to Jeff in prep, if it weren't for Caitlin Clark, the WNBA would be history, I think. Because
Did you see the All-Star game?
I did. And one thing about the All-Star game of the WNBA, as the abuse of Caitlin Clark continues, the NBA statistics in terms of viewership, she didn't participate in the three-point contest. The three-point contest viewership ratings were down significantly. Caitlin Clark did play in the game on Sunday, and those viewership went spiked high. So the WNBA is almost killing the golden goose. Is what it's doing.
Sam, how long are those games? 48 minutes like a regular basketball game?
They're 4 quarters.
Yeah,
I
it's the
think so.
same. It's
Okay.
the same.
All
Yeah.
right, now put your math head on this one. Okay. Do you know how many 3-point attempts there were?
They're 52.
127 in
Jeez.
48 minutes. That's almost 3 a minute. And
Yeah.
you've got to shoot your shot, and you got to get a rebound, or you got to
Yeah.
get back down. It's like all they did was shoot threes.
You
What
can
kind
have
of stars are
all-star
you?
games. Yeah, it's just silly. Anyway, but the story here is that the Seattle Storm had an issue. The co-owner of the Seattle Storm has an issue with what Sophie Cunningham has done in the WNBA. She's kind of the protector of Caitlin Clark on the Indiana Fever, and she's good herself. She's become popular. She's got model, you can't always say that about the WNBA, but she's got modelish looks and that sort of thing. She has stood up for women's rights insofar as she has made it clear that she doesn't believe any biological male should be in any sport that is a woman's sport, girl sport. And we totally agree with her on the show, obviously. No biological male should even want to be playing against women, much less be allowed to do it. So in a game between I'm not sure who it was, but it was in Seattle, there were 12-year-old girls there with signs that said, that's right, it would have been. Yeah, because the sign said, "Thank you, Sophie Cunningham, for protecting us and for promoting our, girls' sports and that sort of thing." Well, the Seattle co-owner went berserk. A woman, and I use that term lightly, went after these young ladies and
In the
called them,
stands. Went after him in the stands.
called them names and that sort of thing. Quite the spectacle, and she has been suspended for 5 games. But that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about another person in a sports league that you would think, just by the nature of what it is, it's called the WNBA, which means women's, doesn't it? Women's National Basketball Association. The co-owner of one of the teams believes it's wrong to keep biological men out of the WNBA. It's almost like what It is upside down. Everything's upside down, it seems. And so, at least if I were the commissioner of the WNBA, the punishment would be a lot longer. Now, if the woman's name is, I forget, I should have written it down, but just check out owner of the Seattle Storm, and you'll see what we're dealing with here. So it won't surprise you when you see her. But I wanted you guys to be aware of that. J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter series, he's an excellent writer who has long stood for keeping biological males out of women's sports. Sammy, if you can call that one up. But do you have that one, the J.K. Rowling? I think.
She just reposted the video.
Okay, yeah. So let's play. You'll see the video of how these girls are being treated. But J.K. Rowling, who's taken a beating for supporting the idea that no man can play in women's sports, reposted it and also congratulated Sophie Cunningham. So play that, Sam, real quick.
But super respectful. We were just holding our signs and cheering for both teams. And this older lady comes up to us, and she comes up to us, and at first I think she's gonna be nice, and she asks like, "What are you guys doing?" or something like that. And then it was like, "Jesus loves everyone." That's what she told us. And I was like, "Oh, I know. Like, I'm religious. Like, I know. Like, I know."
Nice.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, I hope Jesus can forgive you for what sin you've done," and like something like that. And then she told us that we were effing insane. And
she's like, and she went like insane.
Yeah.
She's like, you better stop this
and stop pulling
shit.
this. Yeah.
And
For you guys
I
to
hope
come
God
here
can
and
save
pull
you.
this. Yeah.
She said for you to come here and pull this shit.
Yeah.
She said the word.
Yeah.
Did she say effing insane or the fucking
No,
insane?
she said the word. Yeah.
And nobody around you spoke up for you.
No.
So,
No.
I will say, Annalie, when I came over, you were in tears.
Yeah, I've never been yelled at like that. I mean, I've had people hate on me on the internet, but like it doesn't really affect me as much because it's just people online. But super respectful. We're just holding our signs and cheering for both teams.
That's good, Sam. So those are the young ladies who were all they did is they went to the game, held up signs that said, "Thank you, Sophie Cunningham, for supporting us," something along those lines. And was I don't know about certainly rudely, I don't know about brutally, but you heard the words that they were called and used against them by the co-owner of the Seattle Storm. So there you have it. Those are things that just blow my mind. How about the Wisconsin brewery that said the day Trump dies, we're giving away free beer?
Wow.
I've got the story here. What is an owner like that? So imagine we're all three co-owners, all right? And I come into an owners meeting of our brewery, and I say, "Hey guys, I got a great idea. Let's come out with this deal that says, when Trump dies, the day he dies, we're going to give away free beer." What do you think of that idea?
Well, if you have TDS, sounds great.
All right, so
and if in terms of marketing, it's a new idea in terms of using marketing to tie into politics. And his gamble is because Wisconsin is a Democratic state that he's going to get more business out of it than he's going to lose because of it.
yeah, I mean,
Right?
Wisconsin was a swing state and Trump won it. But
Traditionally, it was
yeah, traditionally, you're right.
Yeah.
So that's what the owner says. We will benefit from this because one, we're getting all the hype. It's in the news.
Right.
But this is that publicity.
All publicity is good
So
publicity.
this one, so here's what happened. A Wisconsin brewery known for anti-Trump social media posts, including one promising a free beer promotion upon the death of President Donald Trump, has had its permit to operate in the state revoked by the state. So this guy says we're going to celebrate Trump's death by giving away free beer. Has lost his beer license, his liquor license. Now he says his name is, let me find it, Kirk Bangstad is, quote, vowing to fight tooth and nail after receiving a letter from the State Department of Revenue revoking Minocqua Brewing Company's permit to operate in Wisconsin. So maybe it's more than just his. I mean, if you're a bar and it's your liquor license, it might as well be your license in total. Because how are you going to survive if you're a bar and you can't sell liquor? Anyway, so he's going to fight the state of Wisconsin, but it's the state of Wisconsin who leans. I mean, the state of Wisconsin has a far left governor. But somebody in the state of Wisconsin said,
I hadn't done that in a while.
Pardon us while Jeff's phone goes off. But it's like somebody in the state of Wisconsin says, okay, well, watch this. Hold my beer. Pardon the pun. But I want you guys to be aware of that story. How about Mamdani's grocery store? How much did I tell you on Tuesday? He was going to be spending $70 million to have one grocery store per borough, which is similar to a county in New York City. So one grocery store, government-owned grocery store, $70 million investment. Yesterday he came out and said that the prices are all going to be guaranteed on a monthly 30-day window, guaranteed to be 30% less than the prices in the grocery store. So what I know about the grocery store business isn't much, other than I do know that they operate on very, very, very tight
Historically,
margins.
forever.
And we're talking 2-3%, something like that, if not lower. So here's Mamdani coming in and saying, we're going to, not only are we going to compete with you, we're going to compete with you at 30% less pricing in your model of very low margins. How is that going to work? Secondly, where do we think that $70 million is coming from? The person that says, oh, all right, I get groceries at lower prices. Where do you think they think that's being made possible? How is that being made possible?
That place
Obviously
be
in Texas.
more crowded than the Waxahachie HEB.
Well, it may be, but at
Yikes.
the same time, I mean, people are paying for that. So we don't live in New York, so we don't have to. But if we lived in New York, we would be paying higher taxes for Mamdani to be able to have his cute little scheme going, convince people that they can get better pricing at groceries without them realizing that they're going to be paying higher prices via taxes. It's going to
pay me now, pay me later.
It's an illusion, as I've shared with you guys, and this is how it works. And people are going to be snookered, and they're going to wake up, as Trump said, a year from now, and find that they're destitute. I'm so thankful that God is keeping Texas strong with good leadership. I don't always agree with Abbott, but the idea that won't happen in the state of Texas is a pretty strong bet. So if there's got to be an example of socialism or communism, let it be New York City, because that no better place for us to all witness how wrong these people are than for what Mamdani is doing. And one last story I want to share with you before we get to our topic of data centers for a few minutes. The NCAA has suspended Tennessee linebacker for, his name is, let's see if I can see it here. I don't see it, but he's been suspended. His name is Carter. Arian Carter, a linebacker for Tennessee, has been suspended by the NCAA for an airline ticket that he got. I think the story here is, this is what the story says. In a world in which college athletes are being paid millions of dollars to play, it looks like as though the NCAA is still harping on the small things, like we're still living in the past. Tennessee linebacker Arian Carter has been suspended 2 games by the NCAA for accepting a flight paid for by an NFL agent after he decided that he would try his hand at professional football after the 2025 season and signed with representation. Now, rules have changed over the years. You used to, in any NCAA sport, you sign with an agent, you've lost your eligibility. Right. Now you can. We just saw it with, I forget what college team, but a guy said I think he actually set on an NBA team or a G League or got practice or whatever, and decided he wanted to go back to college. I can't remember what school it was, and it's fighting the NCAA for that to happen. But nowadays you can reverse and it'd be okay. Well, this dude is being suspended for 2 games because he took a $427 plane ticket. All the while, we got players making $5 million, $4 million, all that sort of thing. I'm telling you, the NCAA, I've said this for decades, the NCAA is one of the most corrupt organizations in this country.
What's the
The problem is he took money from an agent uh, which used to be against the law, just like taking money from anybody.
But he didn't. He took a ticket.
Well, it's money, same
Money
as
or
money.
kind.
Yeah, it's in kind. So if you know, there have been teams that have been caught over the years uh, for having donors that are wealthy, and if you want to get this some great athlete back in the day, you'd slip him a Corvette and not be show up on any books. Well, if the NCAA found out about it, that player and all of it would come to fruition, and there would be suspensions, and there would be fines, and there would be no scholarships, whatever. Uh, but now we have the NIL where millions are being shared.
Yeah.
So the NCAA says, okay, well, this guy $427 benefit. He's decided not to go to the NFL, and we're going to suspend him for 2 games. It's just ridiculous. I mean,
interesting.
I think all of us need to recognize that the NCAA is bad.
Yeah.
We'll talk more on Tuesday about the CEO of Cracker Barrel. That's a funny
Lord.
story. It's kind of a frustrating story,
Isn't
but we'll
it that
share with you.
girl?
It was. She's resigning
Oh.
August, and we'll have a few things to say about that on Tuesday's show. All right, we talked about data centers, and the reason we're going to stay on this a little bit, one is because we're dealing with it here in our own county, and more so in like Red Oak and maybe other municipalities within the county. But we're dealing with it here in Waxahachie as well. We're the county seat, and so we've said, well, what are the positives of having data centers? Because they're coming, one way or another, they're coming. And so we've said, well, what do we need to know? Well, we talked about on Tuesday. We talked about one of the positive impacts being increased tax revenue, because we know that those buildings aren't cheap. We know that the amount of taxes that these companies have to pay is not minimal, although we talked about abatements, and sometimes that can be a bit unfair.
$1 billion a year in sales tax.
Yes. Yeah. So we do know that there are some positive impacts. Another one that we want to mention today is that it provides a construction boost. Now, people in Waxahachie, I think throughout Ellis County, will say, we don't need any more construction. I mean, I think you guys would admit that trying to get from one side of town to another side of town, to get from here to where I live, which is what, 5 miles, 6 miles north of here, 7 miles north of here, can often be so frustrating. So I'll go the back way, Brown Street, which is a lot quicker. But even Brown Street's going to be filled up before you know it. So do we really want any more construction? And do we already have enough? Some those that are pro data center will say it's a construction boost, which leads to more revenue in the community, more jobs, and so on and so forth. So the idea that data centers are coming, as we talked about the other day, and we'll continue to talk about, is a very real thing. They are coming. I was in Atwoods the other day and ran into a buddy of mine. I may have told you this Tuesday, and he stopped me and wanted to talk about data centers. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm pro data center because I value my life, but I am a capitalist, as you guys are, and as most people watching this are. And I say, well, if they're coming anyway, then we got to figure out how to maximize them and protect our citizens. And when I think of city council and the county commissioners, for the most part, I have confidence, other than in one county commissioner who still needs to resign for what he did. I do have confidence in the county judge and the other commissioners. I don't have confidence in 3/5 of our city council to know what they're doing, but I do believe that we have the ability to protect our citizens and have data centers at the same time.
So help me connect some dots that are unconnected as far as I'm concerned. You got a nice list of benefits. They're all valid. You got a nice list of criticisms. They're all valid. But my question is, when you put in the data center in Red Oak or wherever it is, what is happening to that data that benefits Red Oak? Where is all the data going to? Is going to all these servers for all the big deals in, I think the attitude is saying, I'm all good with data centers. I don't want them in my backyard because I'm not picking up a bunch of data out of the deal. right?
Well, if you in today's society, I mean, granted the folks, the uh, baby boomers who have that generation said,
Right.
heck, those people typically aren't those that are going to be interested in AI or technology or what have you. So I make the argument for those that are younger who don't have any choice. They don't, but to embrace technology and AI, need to understand that with try living, I guess I would say to uh, my boy and other young men and women like Sammy, try to live your life in the next 20 years without using AI, with not having AI. We will
Right.
be superbly disadvantaged.
Right.
And so,
But that's not where I'm going. I mean, that's causing good for the whole AI world. What's it doing for my town? Nothing.
well,
Other than the advantages and disadvantages we talked about.
yeah, and one of the advantages are if you if Sammy sat down and said, I want to create a company, uh, and how can I do that? AI can help him tremendously.
Right.
So I think it's going to certainly build more entrepreneurs. It's going to build more
Right.
authors. It's going to build more uh, qualified, quality talent in certain various ways. So it's kind of hard to say. Well, if there's just say for kicks and giggles, a $10 million data center that's put up in Waxahachie, and are we going to be able to connect those dots to $10 million of growth? Well, I don't know if that's really a possible
Right.
the way to direct it, but one can assume that if we're a community that's known for not as being behind the curve with respect to AI or technology, then we're going to be labeled as such. And I think it has a long-term negative effect. I think data centers are going to have to be here in this country. And the question boils down to, as I just said, how are we going to do it? How do we protect our citizens? Because I don't want anybody I like, or even, well, there are a few people that I dislike that I would love for a data center to be, 8 feet from their master bedroom window. But by and large, I don't want anybody to experience those types of things from a data center. On the other hand, I want us to be a cutting edge community and believe that AI and the data centers will help us. All right.
Did we touch on
Yeah,
Red Oak's construction that they have going on?
Well, Red Oak's a fast growing community like
But
Waxahachie.
it is just, isn't it horrible in Red Oak? The construction is
Well, it
everywhere.
depends.
Like,
Yeah.
especially going to B&B. I don't ride around Red Oak, but
Yeah,
going
I
to
mean,
B&B, it's everywhere. I
yeah,
mean, it's just
the only
gravel.
time I go to Red Oak is when I go to the movies.
But isn't it horrible
Hmm.
when you go to the movies? Bad.
Yeah, I mean that turn you make to get up on, I don't know if that's a Villa Road, I think it is. It's been under construction forever, and at some point you want to say, well, hurry up already. What
I just
more do you
think
got
they
to do?
gotta, if a data center comes, I don't live there,
Well,
thank
the
goodness.
data
But
centers,
There are a couple.
I don't, you can't assume that they will impact the same areas that you're
yeah,
already
no,
frustrated
I
with.
know. I'm just saying that there's already a lot of construction.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's what they have to manage up there,
Yeah,
just like we do.
yeah.
All right, Jeffrey, rhyme
Well,
time.
I do so many poems from my books that I was trying to think of something different, and I was hearing more and more NBA WNBA terrible things, and I remembered writing something in Substack last July. And listen to this and ask you if it's gotten any better or worse in 1 year.
Okay.
Here we go. The NBA's war on Caitlin Clark: how to destroy your golden goose in record time. In the WNBA, three of the deadly sins supersede even the drive for wins: greed, envy, and wrath define many players' career path. Let's open with greed. Caitlin's salary is merely chicken feed, but her endorsement income is beyond compare. Suddenly, it's league-wide despair. Endorsements aren't just about game success, as many people falsely guess. They go to players people care for, in a way, more than how you score. Caitlin checks off every box, especially at the ticket box. Many players think it's unfair not to be getting a little Caitlin share. Aesop's Fables details killing the golden goose. A golden egg per day was all the hen could lay. The farmer cut her up to find more, and then there were no more eggs in store. Now we see greed turn into envy. Imagine how this baggage must be heavy. Caitlin's success, they now do resent. though her presence has been heaven sent. What happens when greed and envy meet? Wrath becomes rampant on NBA Street. No longer content with what they had, league-wide success has them hopping mad. Players treating her overly rough. These gals gotta show they're tough. Referees turn a blind eye as infractions fly. Caitlin continues to try. It never does cry. Miss Clark is filled with both skills and class, an outstanding young American lass. The golden goose that daily does lay may just simply say, I don't really want to play.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlin Clark is the Michael Jordan of the WNBA.
Yeah.
And for the WNBA, from their commissioner on down to the other players, like, what are you doing? I get the idea of envy and jealousy and all that sort of stuff. And Caitlin Clark can be a wise ass. I get that too, and complain like Luca can. But she is the golden goose of the WNBA. And why the WNBA just doesn't have better sense than to make her the, I don't know, the runt of the WNBA, let her be abused. And I don't advocate special treatment, but the NBA would have never allowed what's gone on with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA to happen to Michael Jordan in the NBA. Never.
Right.
You know how much I love basketball? Not even the NBA, just the sport of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It's no disrespect to these girls, but it's just not good basketball.
Well, it's not.
It's
but
not, and I love Caitlin Clark. She's obviously would be my favorite. But I mean, the Wings are playing right now, and I love Dallas sports. I can't watch their games. I just can't. And they moan about money. It's not good basketball.
Yeah, the only team I'll watch play, and I won't watch it all the time, is when Caitlin Clark's on TV.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous the way she's been treated. All right, I know we got a long day in history. Let's
Today in
go for
history,
it.
we got 13 choices. Let's
All right, let's go.
The first representative assembly in colonial America convened in Jamestown in the Virginia colony.
1902.
1768.
1619. This is before we had a revolution even. Come on, guys. During the Civil War, Union forces tried to take St. Petersburg, Virginia by exploding a gunpowder-laden mine shaft beneath Confederate defense lines. The attack failed.
1862.
1864.
64 for the bonus.
I was gonna say 4.
This one you got to know which war they're talking about, and I was wrong. German saboteurs blew up a munitions plant on Black Tom in an island near New Jersey City, New Jersey, killing about a dozen people.
I have no idea. I'll go 1922.
1917.
16.
Yes.
Uruguay won the first FIFA World Cup, defeating Argentina 4-2. I was so far off on this, I had no idea.
I know it.
When did FIFA start?
We got third place. It was in 1930.
1954.
The bonus is in effect.
Yeah.
How about it, Sam? Nicely done.
USA got third place. That's the farthest we've been, and there was only like however many teams.
3 teams.
The
Yeah.
heavy,
Yeah.
the heavy cruiser USS Indianapolis, having just delivered components of the atomic bomb in Tinian in the Mariana Islands during World War II, was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine. Only 316 of nearly 1,200 service members survived.
1950.
43.
45. There's an extra bonus in here. I got the year and the bonus. Come with me, guys. President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed a measure making In God We Trust the national model, replacing blank. Replacing what was our old national model before In God We Trust.
Unum, something unum.
You got
Unum, pluria, something like that. I
Yeah.
should get it.
I'm going to give it to you.
All right, thank you.
E pluribus unum, which
Yes.
means out of many,
One.
which
Yeah.
was talking about what was the deal with the colonies.
Yes.
And where were we going with that?
He did
Okay,
that.
so Ike did that in what year?
He did that in 59.
Ike, 55.
56.
Okay.
Good work, gentlemen. Bruce Jenner, now known as Caitlyn Jenner, set a world record of 86.18 points and won the gold medal at the Olympic decathlon at blank Summer Games for the bonus, and then the year.
I don't know. I don't know the bonus. I'll go 72.
76.
76.
Wasn't in America, was it? United States? No.
I'm sorry, no clues.
Our-
It's too late. Montreal.
Montreal.
Ex-Bosnian Serb leader Radovan Karadzic was extradited to The Hague to face genocide charges after nearly 13 years on the run. He was sentenced by a UN court in 2019 to life imprisonment after being convicted of genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes.
2006.
88.
08.
Ooh, I was way off.
Oh, I was close.
3 electric grids in India collapsed in a cascade, cutting power to 620 million in the world's biggest blackout.
2015.
2012.
2012 for the bonus.
Wow.
Sammy, I am busting it.
U.S. Army PFC. What does that stand for? It's not for a
We got to
bonus.
hurry.
U.S. Army PSC.
PFC.
Private First Class.
Oh.
Chelsea Manning was acquitted for
Oh,
aiding
yeah.
the enemy, the most serious charge she faced, but was convicted of espionage, theft, and other charges at Fort Meade, Maryland, more than 3 years later after she'd spilled secrets to WikiLeaks. The former intelligence analyst was later sentenced to up to 35 years in prison, but the sentence was commuted by President Barack Obama.
Oh, 2016. No, 15.
2017.
13. 2 more. Here we go. 16 people died when a hot air balloon caught fire and exploded after hitting high-tension power lines before crashing near a pasture in Lockhart, Texas. Do you remember when that happened?
Lockhart.
I'd
Oh.
never
Lockhart.
get
It's
never-
right outside
never.
of San Antonio.
Yeah, I don't know. I go 2019.
21.
16.
Ooh.
I'll never get one of those. All right, last one.
NASA launched its Perseverance rover and Ingenuity helicopter to Mars aboard an Atlas V rocket. The helicopter's first flight on Mars was in April. I can't give you that.
2023.
2022.
2020.
Oh.
They had that
I only
helicopter.
got one. I only got
inside
one
of-
13
wrong.
and 3.
I only got one
13 and
wrong.
3?
Yep.
Nice.
Because I got bonuses. All right. We're not going to have time for our closing video. We'll share it with you on Tuesday. You'll like it. But we do have to close with our boys. So I'm trying to get beyond sports about what's true or false. All right. Ready? We'll close out.
So,
True or false? There is evidence that certain species of baboons keep dogs as pets. True or false?
That is false.
well, I'll be happy to take a true there.
There is evidence
No,
that
there's
certain
not.
species of baboons keep dogs
there's
as
not.
pets. Yeah, they do. Can you
I'll
imagine?
be happy
Can you
to take
imagine a
that.
baboon having a little chihuahua? Oh my gosh, that would be funny. All right, thank
For
y'all for being
dinner,
here.
maybe.
Sorry we went a little bit long, but we appreciate you being here. We look forward to seeing you on Tuesday of next week. Jeffrey, it's all yours.
Have a great day and try to put a smile on somebody's face today. Boom.